Check, check. How's it going, baby?
Check 1, 2.
Check 1, 2. Microphone check 1, 2.
How's it going, baby?
How's it going, baby?
Ooh,
Pookie Bear,
got
baby
him.
girl.
Take it by the scenes, it's what we're doing. Come and check it out, it's what we're all about. 561 Music!
561 Music Festival
Brought to you by STEINGER, Greene and Feiner.
at the Meyer Amphitheater.
May 3rd.
It's a free show.
20 bands,
2 stages,
art vendors,
food vendors.
drinks vendors.
There you go. Go to 561musicfestival.com for details.
20 bands will play, West Palm Beach all day. Support your music scene, May the 3rd is free. 561 Music Festival.
Supported by STEINGER, Greene and Feiner. Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben. Hector couldn't make it today. He's feeling a little under the weather, and we are playing the St. Patrick's Day events over the course of the next weekend. So we figured it was probably a good idea if Hector got some rest, because there's nothing worse than trying to play gig after gig and being sick. So he's doing that. So it's just me today. Obviously we have guests as well, but no Hector, sadly. So we're just about to put on a festival in a couple of months, May the 3rd. We're doing 561 Music Festival 4, and it's at Meyer Amphitheater, and we have 20 bands. It's very exciting. We have food vendors, drinks vendors, and the bands are as follows: Mason Pace, Tiger Sunset, Closer to the Ocean, Rass, Judd Huffman, Fwakata, Medicine Room, Jacob Tacos and the Connection, Beeline, Reverse Oreo, Modern Odyssey, Stony Fools, Strider, Shakers, Ryan Hopkins, Slow Funk Pump, Off Orbit, Billy Doom is Dead, Little Things, and Blab Scam. And we're really looking forward to it. It's the whole thing has just been a bit of a whirlwind. We couldn't believe that we managed to get such an amazing place to do the festival, and everyone's been really, really helpful. And ever since the green light went on for us being able to do it in the Meyer Amphitheater, we've had loads of people coming out of the woodwork to help, and it's been super cool. And I just want to make sure I thank Stenger, Greene and Feiner for really bankrolling the whole thing, and all of the other sponsors. Thank you so much. It's Hector and I are over the moon, excited beyond belief. And we get to talk to one of those bands today. We have Wrasse with us. How's it going, guys?
Ooh, awesome.
Going great, man. Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Justin earlier about the name, and he didn't know that it was the name of a fish, but I did, because I did a bit of fishing when I was younger. Nice. So can you tell us a little bit about why Rass?
All right. So,
Oh, boy.
I caught a wrasse. Oh, shit. Gotta get in
Get a
closer.
little closer.
Yeah.
I caught a wrasse
Right.
one time, and the specific species of wrasse was called a slippery dick. And I'm like, what a fantastic band name.
Yeah.
And, we were getting going, all that good stuff. And then Steve and I had a little meeting, and we're like, how far are we going to go with slippery dick? Like, it's funny, it's cool, but you're gonna reach a threshold where people are like, I don't know about
Tough
that.
to market, man. It's tough to
I had a
market.
friend who was in a band called Pickled Dick.
All right.
Dick.
And they changed their name to Mike TV eventually.
Okay.
But they were Pickled Dick for like 10 years. They really went
Gotcha.
for it with Pickled Dick, but I don't think they did eventually change it. So I think you might have just nipped it in the bud there. It was a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
And Wrasse can be beautiful fish.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of fishing?
When I can,
Yeah.
at any chance I can.
So this band is real, like, sort of, the idea behind it is like tropical punk. It's like Florida punk. It's like, sun-soaked kind of thing.
Totally.
How is that translated to the music that you write? Like, what are you writing about, and how has living in Florida informed the music you're writing?
Well, first off, it's got to have the steel drums.
Oh, there you
In
go.
order to have that tropical flair, you got to have the steel drums. So, for sure.
Absolutely.
It's like Blink 182 and Jimmy Buffett, like, had a baby. Like,
Oh, there you
that's
go.
kind of the idea behind it, I guess, in a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what? It took me. I really didn't like Jimmy Buffett when I was younger, but I come around certain songs. I didn't realize.
Thank goodness.
I didn't realize that
Our
he
Lord and
had.
Savior.
I didn't realize that he had, like, there's some tunes.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
He's not just sort of the hits. There's some deep cuts there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's good. I guess there's no smoke without fire pretty much ever, is there? You know what I mean? It's like, if someone's that successful, there's going to be a reason why.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, he's a great songwriter. There's a lot of different types of Jimmy Buffett music, I feel like. We were actually just talking recently. He was like doing an entire discography listen through. And we're talking about, oh man, this, 76 is great. Or when he started getting in the 80s and like way too much production going on, you could feel like the lack of organicness. So it was fun to be able to kind of travel through his discography and figure out all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, why don't you tell him a little bit about like the ideas songwriting wise? Like where some of the influences come from.
I feel like the content is either it's Florida, it's hot. We're gonna talk about the dumb shit that happens in Florida,
Which is a lot.
absolutely. The issues that the state is facing.
Interesting.
Primarily like protecting our environment and
Excellent.
just making sure that everybody is able. Thank you. Everybody's able to enjoy the nature that we have here, and that it sticks around. The Everglades Restoration Project is something that we're super into, and just anything that not only we can do to just like help promote, but like to donate portions of our merchandise to projects that can help with that kind of stuff.
Excellent.
Like, yeah, that's what we like to
help
do.
keep Florida.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I always say.
That whole thing that was going on with the park in Hope Sound, I just it never ceases to amaze me the stuff people will try and pull.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like people that actively hate nature. It's like it's just nonstop, and we're sort of at a point now with Florida where it's like you can't really build on any more of it. It's just it's like at this kind of like threshold. It's like without serious damage being done, and it's already being done, and it's so sad.
And they want to just keep doing it, so it's like that's why we need to be on the forefront of
I
being
mean,
conscious about it.
We've lost half of the Everglades since its inception, and trying to not lose the other half.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very sad, and I always feel like a bit of a hypocrite because I'm not from Florida, and this big influx of people who come here, is part of the reason why it's kind of groaning under the weight of all the people, which is, that is a part of it. But by the same token, I really care about that kind of stuff, and I'm kind of vocal about it too. I'm always writing songs about it and stuff like that, and try and give to charities that related to it and things like that. It's I had a friend who worked for the environmental sort of. I'm not 100% sure what it's called, but she'd go and check people's like building projects and things like that to make sure that they were up to code in terms of the environmental stuff. And she moved away, and she stopped doing it in the end because it was just so depressing. Because it's like non-stop,
Yeah.
It's like
Pushing the limits every time.
Yeah.
What they can do.
Yeah.
Like maybe even legally sometimes with the environment around.
Well, they just don't even care. Like developments, just running over gopher tortoise habitats and like, we make billions, like $15,000 fine. Yeah, we don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's got to be there's got to be more than that. So.
Have you heard about what's going on with the Sunny Sands development? It's in Jupiter, and there's a. My wife works as she's the archaeological sort of guidance person who works for the town of Jupiter. And so if there's like building work or stuff like that, then they go to Christy and her colleagues and stuff and ask them, is there anything of archaeological value here that we need to make sure that... And so, they're currently embroiled in this whole thing to save this one spot there. So it's the good fight.
Yep.
And I'm so proud of my wife that she's
Right on.
That's awesome,
Very
man.
cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I love the fact that you guys are writing about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's good. It's the right kind of thing to write about, because it's one thing writing about problems like that in a global sense or in a national sense, but it makes a lot more sense to write about it when it's like your doorstep.
Yeah, right, locally.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because that's the kind of stuff you actually can understand.
Yeah.
I feel like it's difficult when, the national politics and things, although, there's a lot going on, it's crazy, is it's difficult to really fully understand it. But I feel like if on a local level, you can affect change.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Yep.
Yeah,
Totally.
that's great. So, can you tell us a little bit about how you find yourself getting into music? Like, what was the journey for you like?
I'm gonna let you take this one, big boy.
All right, I'll go first. So, I played guitar when I was really young, a little bit. I didn't really like stick through it too hard, so I kind of gave up in middle school. And then when I got a little bit older, like a junior in high school, I started playing guitar a little bit again. And then, I tore my ACL and meniscus a few years later skateboarding, so I like really dove into music. I feel like at that moment, like my injury really just propelled me into music. Like all my free time just got dumped into music.
Yeah.
Started playing drums and bass and guitar and, started playing in bands and just playing with buddies and stuff like that. So pretty much just kind of happened. I would say I felt like I needed something else to do when I was recovering from my injury. So I just started playing.
There's been a couple of people who said that, actually.
Yeah.
They got an injury and then they just kind of like branched off in this other direction.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, because I suppose at a certain time in your life, all of that free time either gets taken up with sports unless it doesn't. And then there's room for another thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because I was always doing like action sports and stuff like skating or surfing and just always just being active. And then that happened and like everything like in that moment, of course, everything like stopped.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, now I have like a few months to recover from this. And like I can't really like jump around much. So might as well put my time into this craft that like I care about, a little bit. And here I am all these years later, like it's my life. I love it. I'm stoked to be just doing it. So
that's excellent.
it's a blessing in disguise sometimes,
No, totally. What about you? How did you find yourself getting into music?
Got into Zeppelin, baby.
Yeah.
John Bonham.
Bam.
And just dove into their catalog and listened to Zeppelin straight for like a year. My parents are like, "Yo, that's cool. We gotta listen to something else, man." And
never, mom and dad.
Just branched out and just listened to as much as I could. Just absorbed it. Analyzed and tried to emulate techniques. And
cool.
I just went from there, and then just kept going. And it's something. It's something like I just felt like I had to do.
Yeah.
It's not just, that's cool. It's like, if I don't do this, I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah,
totally.
No, I get that. And I feel like when you get that insatiable urge to replicate something or when you see someone else, you just really want to do it, that's a good sign that you're meant to be doing it. So my brother was like that with sports. If he was watching the Olympics or something like that, and someone was doing the 100 meters, he'd have to like go outside and like run around in the yard.
Be a part of it.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with me. If I go and watch, it's taken me years to be able to go and watch a gig and not enjoy it because I wish I was up there. You know?
Yeah.
Like I can enjoy it now, but it's taken me a long time to get to that point.
I totally feel that. Yep.
Yeah.
You wanted to play on the field, you saw all the other kids playing on the field. You're like, well, I want to play too on the playground,
Yeah,
That's how it feels
exactly.
sometimes
I can
as a
rip,
musician.
dude.
Yeah. Wait till you see me do, Bonham triplets.
It's like that meme with the football player on the side. Both of you guys have played in some different bands and still do play in some other bands around here. Tell us a little bit about that. So you're in Stumble Steady, innit?
Yep.
And I forgot, but you reminded me embarrassingly that you were on a couple of years ago. So how busy is Stumble Steady in terms of like
winding down? It's kind of just, we take shows that, we think, hey, we're going to be hanging out with our buddies. We're going to, have our fam and friends come out, good opportunities, And like we've got a show coming up in a couple weeks at Prop. Stage Mom is putting it on. We love Stage Mom. Thank you.
Is that the one that's like a competition?
Yep.
I'm going to be there. I'm one of the judges.
Right on. I'm so stoked to disappoint you. It's going to be awesome, man.
She asked us to be one of the judges, and I was like, I've never done anything like that before. It'd be fun.
That's a good experience for sure.
Yeah, I know quite a lot about local bands now. I've been doing this for
Absolutely.
4 years.
Yep.
Long time.
Sick, man.
That's crazy.
You guys
I love
are
what you
crushing
guys
it,
do,
man.
man.
We love
Thank
watching you guys grow. Super stoked about the upcoming festival.
Yeah,
man.
Let's talk about that. So, Rass is a relatively new band. When did you guys start?
Last year.
Yeah, last year, like he said, we kind of had this little like meeting of like, yo, what if we sandwiched Jimmy Buffett style and Blink, because we both love Jimmy Buffett, Blink, you know. And he just came to me with this idea, and I'm like, I'm in. So we just kind of met up and started like footing around and like writing some random stuff. He came up with a bunch of riffs. I came up with a couple things maybe. And we just saw what happened, and we were like, oh yeah, that's a cool sound. Like, I've not really seen that kind of attitude. Like tropical punk, you think, okay, like ska kind of vibes, like is what's going on sort of. But this is like a little bit different. It's like a little bit of a different alley than like
it is.
the ska vibes, you know. So
no, it's
like I said, it's got to have the steel drums.
Yeah. It's a smart idea, and I like it, and it's a lot of fun too. So I love the way the recording sound. How did you record?
Most of it's in the box. Usually,
And was it you guys?
Yeah, pretty much.
You specifically?
So like the drums, I'm sorry, drummers, I'm a drummer myself. They're MIDI drums. They're Get Good drums. I absolutely love them. I love tracking drums, but dude, to lug your drums to the studio, tune them, do a bunch of takes, edit them, all that stuff, where I can just like quantize. Like, I'm sorry, guys. It's official.
It's difficult. I would always record a drum kit, but I'm not above layering samples, you know? I'll do that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll put myself through the misery of trying to get a good drum sound just because I feel like I should.
Yeah. I get it.
But the thing is, I do often end up layering samples on it anyway. So is that any different or like, you know, like better? I don't know. I think, and there's plenty of tunes where I've done MIDI drums and what I thought was going to be like the kind of first stage, like the scratch. And then I was like, you know what? I don't think I can do drums that sound better than this, and just left them on it.
At least for me, because like I am not a good mixing engineer, I believe, you know, and I'm not going to mix live drums nearly as well as I can mix, you know,
not many
solid
people
MIDI drums.
Not many people are. That's the truth of it.
It's easier to work with, you know, I guess.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
there's nothing wrong with that, making the best product that you can to go and like serve. You know what I mean? So if you think in the hindsight that it's going to sound the best with this kind of thing, then, you know, that's what's important.
Absolutely, it's serving the song. I don't think there's any shame in it, especially not if you're just like totally open about it. Like, who cares? You know?
We're also adding a human touch. So like Steve and I are both drummers, so we understand like if we just have every velocity the same, it's going to sound robotic. So I am painstakingly sitting there like doing the velocities, like like moving, you know, mics around, whatever, in the space. So we try to make it as human as possible. Nice. We always play it live too to make sure that it's possible and that our drummers can do it. Yeah. So our live show is always a live drummer. So yep.
Oh yeah, live band for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, like with Bomb the Algorithm, which is a project I'm doing at the moment, I'd say of our releases, sort of 3/4 of them are a live kit with some sample replacement. And, you know, but then we did release one that was just the MIDI drums that we did. And that's it, did the same thing. I spent ages on it, just, you know, tweaky, getting it all right. And I use Superior Drummer. That's one I've got. And I just got the pop punk like extension pack for it.
Hell yeah!
And it is amazing. There's not a single drum sound or kit that sounds any. It's so much better than all the other drums on there.
Right on.
I was like, this is what I've been waiting for this whole time.
It's a snare crack.
It's just perfect, and it's deep, but it's deep too.
Nice,
it's like just a big throaty, just like perfect snare.
Love it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So
like
if you ever
Beauty, Johnum's Black Beauty, or Bonham's Black Beauty, I think just cracked, but it had so much body to it.
Yeah.
Too.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally.
It's nice. Yeah, and we do guitars and bass, obviously, like you said, through the box, and then we did vocals at Succulent.
We do track vocals at Succulent Sound Studios. Shout out to the homies. You know, Monty, Brendan, Brian, love those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the Beeline guys, just that whole house, and we're just and every time they're there, we just hope that they hop in because we're just gonna do a bunch of gang vocals and just crush
wicked.
It.
Yeah. I'm playing a gig with Brendan on Monday.
Nice,
So,
very cool.
He's coming to do the St. Patrick's Day thing at Paddy Max, and he did the songwriter night last week or whenever it was. He's really good.
Dude, I love him.
I didn't know how good he was just solo.
He crushes.
I've seen him do the Irish stuff before, but I've never seen him just sit there with an acoustic guitar, and I was like, damn, you know what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yep.
Love that.
That's great. Do you guys ever do you guys ever perform solo? Have either of you guys ever done that?
I have in the
Yeah.
past. I'm not a big fan. I love playing off the energy with the homies. And
Heck yeah.
I feel
having a good
that.
time.
You mean just like solo acoustic? Is that what you mean, kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a couple like that. but
Yeah.
I agree. Like with a band and a full force, it feels like more. You know?
Yeah. Every now and again, I'll do it just to kind of challenge myself, but I
Nice.
like playing with other people too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
Just the whole thing, like the fact that when you go there, you're not on your own. Just like
Yeah.
you're just with your homies, and then you get to play, and it's that I feel like being in a band it's like a family that you choose.
Totally.
It's the best.
Yeah, you have each other's back, like sonically and like literally. Like physically, emotionally.
Yeah.
Sonically, like I said, musically. Like I know when I'm playing. Like I know, the musicians behind me are holding it down with me, or there for me.
Yeah,
that kind of
totally.
stuff. I think it's just like that really important bond.
So
Special.
absolutely, and I just love it. It's the best thing in my life. I love being in bands. When it comes to like the mastering of it, these days mastering's funny because there's so many ways to do it yourself. I just wondered, did you get it mastered somewhere, or did you do it
Yes,
yourself?
I am not gonna fuck around with mastering. I know my limits. I will say that a lot of the isotope, I think the ozone
Yeah.
products, help me a little bit in that regard. They really help to balance out my mix, kind of give it some space, widen it a bit.
So you got it at a certain point.
And then just give it to our mastering engineer,
Who do you guys use?
Brandon Allshouse from Steelhouse Mastering.
Okay.
Everything I have sent to him, he is absolutely just elevated. Thank you so much, Brandon.
Yeah, I think it sounds great. I think the record sounds great, and I'm actually curious about that. I'm going to hit you up for his details because
Hell yeah.
I think it does sounds very professional. Sounds right.
Yeah, he crushes it.
Yeah.
He knows
Thanks for that.
he knows exactly what needs to be bumped, what needs to be cut. Just like compressing just a little bit and then making it, palatable. There's been some things where, we have mix fatigue where we've heard it so many times, and then it's like
I feel like I live in a
fresh.
permanent state of mixed fatigue.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's tough, man. You hear something so many times, you kind of, and it's so much more real than you can. It's difficult to explain how much it affects you. That it's because if you've been listening to something and you're trying to pick out a certain thing, then that's all you can hear. To the point where you'll remove it way too much because you can still just about make it out. It's like your ears just it's like focus, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you have to sometimes I'll leave something alone for like a week and then come
Yeah.
back to it just because I have to forget what my ears think they should be listening to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'll rehear it even if it's not there, just because you've
Yeah.
heard it so many times that
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
even when you mute it, sometimes you'll still hear it there
Yeah.
in your mind.
Yeah,
Like,
kind
I
of.
know
Yeah,
what you mean.
yeah. It's the amount that the amount that your state of mind affects what you're listening to is huge.
Absolutely.
Huge. The reason I'm making such a big deal out of it is because I always kind of knew that, but I'm really starting to understand now just how much of a big deal that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Knowing when to walk away. Hey, it's not right to do it right now, or I've got to listen to it on its terms as opposed to mine. And
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
That's a good point.
And it's something else that I was seeing as we were talking about recording. One of the things that the guy, and I said it earlier, and it's what made me think of it. The guy from Power Station said, it's like you don't have to sort of. It's everything you do to a song should be serving the song. Like, what does the song want? You know what I mean? Like, not what do you want to do to the song? Like, what does it want?
Yeah, what does it need? What does it want?
Yeah.
Totally.
And I think that, that's a good way of approaching these things. And that's why, he's saying, like, you use drum samples. I'm like, well, yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
It's so much fuller. I've noticed, just obviously there's so many things you can do to rectify that with live drums. But yeah, if it's just full and sounds crisp right out the gate, like, I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, totally.
Still got good listenability. It doesn't sound too robotic like we were saying. You
Yeah.
get that human element.
Well, the fact that it's that kind of music as well. What you're doing, the idea behind it and everything, it needs to be well produced because it's just that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like you're kind of trying to tell a story of like a garage punk band that and like all of the whole kind of like feel of it has to be just energy and rawness and like analog kind of craziness. Like what you're doing is just it's like bright, sunny, and poppy, and like bam,
It's a bit polished to and I know punk and polished in the same breath are like crazy, but in a way
these days, there's plenty of stuff like that out there.
That's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's great. And I think probably now would be a good time to listen to you play a couple of songs from it.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right.
There's a monsoon in my bedroom, now the tide's high and I'm sleeping through no seasons, no reasons, just thunder. Demons try to sorrows and tomorrows with the shallows for some good news. Now the sky fades in the dark ways when the trees bend, take me away. Every day was paradise till the sunlight washed away. No, I'm out here always stressing in a tropical depression. Now I'm waiting on dry eyes, everything's wet in the rain. Now I'm trapped here on vacation in a tropical depression. Drifting in the riptide, fuck the red flags. Backslide, no weather, full sweaters, just snowbirds, fender benders, spring break, headache, tourists, discourage, bulldoze the scrub views for hotel, your refuge. Sometimes I get too high, can't come down, can't come down. And when the sun don't shine, I need you around, need you around. Every day was paradise till the sunlight washed away. Now I'm out here always stressing in a tropical depression. Now I'm waiting on dry eyes, and everything's wet in the rain. Now I'm trapped here on vacation in a tropical depression. Pull the shades down, 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 pull the shades down. And every day was paradise till the sunlight washed away. Now I'm out here always stressing in a tropical depression. Now I'm waiting on dry eyes, everything's wet in the rain. Now I'm trapped here on vacation in a tropical depression. Pull the shades down, pull the shades down, pull the shades in a tropical depression. Pull the shades down, pull the shades down, pull the shades in a tropical depression. Time too fast to say the answer is no. This sinking ship is smoldering. Learn to walk on by, exhale the small stuff. Blossom shine, go grab the jetsam. We won't let you sail off all of the sun. We'll let you sail the sun. We won't let you sail the sun. We won't let you sail the sun. We won't let you sail the sun. And when the clouds roll in, check the listing for it says it's burning now. And know that private equity has got you fucked and drowning by the wayside. Heads of zeros catch the new tide. We won't let you kill love all of the sun. Won't let you sail the sun. We won't let you sail the sun. We won't let you sail the sun. We won't let let you sail the sun. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go, nowhere to go, nowhere to go, nowhere to go. We won't let you sail the sun. 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 We won't let you sail the sun.
A lot better?
Yeah.
Felt good on that one. Cool. Can I say it out of the way? Cool. All right, guys. I think we're good. So, nowhere to go. Take 3. Tropical depression. Take 1. I felt good for us. Thank you so much.
Oasis Root Kava Bar is in Sea Grape Square on Indiantown Rd. And it is a kava bar. If you don't know anything about kava, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water. And it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, you know, that brings people together. You all take a shell of kava and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a kava bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of kava bars. Some of them are more like a club, you know, there's sort of like black light and EDM playing. And some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby foot as they call it in France. Yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank you very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Root. 561 Music is sponsored by Live Music Community. It's where we film the podcast that you're listening to right now, and it's also where I work. Gavin, Hector's son, was a student here for a long time, and in many ways he's the musician he is today because of the teachers at Live Music Community. We taught him not only about his instrument, but also about being in a band, and his band, Unemployed Youth, accomplished a lot of goals, mostly band etiquette, how to work together, and all of the nitty-gritty that goes into being in a band on a day-to-day basis. The student signs up for lessons, learns their instrument, joins a real band, and decides the direction it goes in. And we can take people from very young age, 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to 80. There's no age limit here. We run an adult program for people who want to be in a band as adults, but really the main focus is on the kids and getting them playing together and in bands. We are also a studio, a live stream venue. We can record audio or video. The Killbillies live album, Warts and All, was recorded here. It was recorded during a live stream that we did during COVID. Justin had a great idea to record live streams during COVID. A ton of bands came in and it was a real success. Outside of that, we can record albums, we can help you with your EPK, and we have full audio-visual capabilities here. LMC is in Palm Beach Gardens on the northwest corner of Military Trail and North Lake Boulevard. And if you go to livemusiccommunity.com, you have all the information you'll need right there. All right, so we just listened to an ad for Live Music Community, and it is where we're sitting right now, and it's a great place, and I work here, and I love it. So let's get into the segment where we ask you for advice for upcoming musicians. You guys are pretty seasoned now. You've probably got some good advice.
We're old as fuck, dude.
Great.
I'm so sorry that I forgot this individual's name, but I was watching the podcast from a couple weeks ago, and their advice for upcoming musicians was don't listen to anybody. And I
Yeah.
absolutely love that because, we've all in our hubris at one point or another, like given unsolicited advice or
I do it non-stop. I teach for a living. So.
And just to hear someone be like, yeah, man, just don't listen to it. Just do your own thing. That was really cool. And I was going to be like that 100%. But then I thought, dude, what would Jimmy Buffett do?
Oh, there you go.
So we gotta follow our Lord and Savior, Jimmy Buffett, man.
Yeah, don't listen to anyone except.
Exactly,
Jimmy
dude. Exactly. And
I had a friend who knew him. Used to play tennis with him. How wild's that?
crazy, bro.
I know, yeah. All right, what about you, man? You got any?
Yeah, just keep doing it, like you're going to get discouraged, transparently along the way. You will find yourself getting discouraged. And honestly, everyone's probably went through that, and not to like belittle your discouragement, but keep going through that will help you like feel that satisfaction once it's over. You know what I mean? Like, to make a dream on with Aerosmith, like Steven Tyler, he's like, you got to learn to lose to know how it feels to win.
Yeah.
And that's just pretty accurate. You sometimes just got to lose, or else you can't really respect that victory feeling.
Yeah,
that
I was
victorious
talking to
feeling.
Hector about that last week because he's very good at applying for things for the band. And it was something that we weren't doing as much before he joined because I don't know why. I just, especially then, I've changed a lot in the last few years, but especially then I was like, I just had this kind of feeling of like, well, they're not going to ask me. I'm not going to, I was just kind of like weirdly too proud about it or something. Or maybe I was scared of rejection. I don't know. But Hector just applies for things all the time. And that's really what it's about in the arts. It's like being an actor and having to go to auditions. It's don't be afraid to be turned down for something and just apply for as many things as you can, festivals, stuff like that.
Totally.
And then when it works out, it works out. And you're right, don't be discouraged by being turned down because everyone gets turned down, all the time.
Well, also too, like don't even like musically, don't get discouraged. Like you're trying this riff over and over again, and you get that frustration. We've all felt it. Like, why can't I just play this thing? And then you'll get it like one time after trying it 100 times. You're like, oh, like I heard it, I did it.
Yeah.
And that feeling alone sometimes can be just enough to kind of nudge you forward to
That
keep
is
going.
literally what skateboarding is.
Yeah. Having grown
That's
up
like all it
skateboarding,
is.
maybe I've attributed that into my music a little bit because I grew up skateboarding. So you fall, you get up.
Yeah.
You fall, you get up again. It's like you go home with the welt, but you got that trick one time.
Yeah,
so it's
you
like
remember like when you first get a kickflip and then you try and show someone, it takes another year to be able to show somebody.
yeah, right. I feel that. You get nervous.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the first time I ever played guitar for one of my friends. They I had just started really playing. They were like, "Oh, like play me a song," and I'm like, "Okay." This was like a lot, like years and years ago. And like now I'm like, love it. I eat it up. I love playing in front of people or with people and stuff. So
yeah, I think it's character building. Getting up there and not being afraid to put yourself out there.
Totally.
It's good for you. I've always found it. I've always loved it. I think I'm just also a bit of an attention seeker. But
fair enough.
I get that.
I can respect that.
So, can you give us a little bit of an insight as to the songs we just listened to, some of the lyrics in them?
Cool. We'll start with Tropical Depression. Started as a Stumble Steady song, but no matter how I messed with the arrangement, it just didn't work.
Right.
So I'm like, there's something there. I'm going to sit on it. And then, Steve and I were talking. We had the idea, and I was just like, yeah, let's try it as a punk song. And it worked perfectly. Like, this is great. So it really just came together, and it influenced us. And as soon as that first song was done, we're like, yo, there's so much more we could do in this style, and it's really kind of helped influence us. And
Great.
Just talking about, I think it's something that a lot of people connect with, we just putting it out there. We really barely promoted it. We're like, we're just gonna throw it out, tell the homies to listen to it, have a little fun, and then we'll start kicking. This was around when the hurricanes were hitting pretty hard. Last year. And
brutal.
the numbers were not, crazy numbers, but the numbers started to go up because I think that people could identify with it, and they thought it was important, and it helped realize their frustrations as well.
Yeah. What's it about specifically?
Tropical, it's kind of just like the day-to-day living in Florida. A big part of it is not getting to experience the seasons, so you feel a little bit stagnant in your
Sure.
growth. You have to measure it in other ways, but then just dealing with, snowbirds and overdevelopment and
Yeah.
skyrocketing insurance prices and just all the kind of BS, and the idea that we live where people vacation.
Yeah.
And it's just
That's weird, isn't it,
Yeah,
sometimes?
it's just a whole different vibe that we have to live with. And but at the same time, like, having the sun almost
Yeah.
the whole year is really nice.
It is nice.
So, yep.
I in one of the No Name Ska Band songs, like the first lyric said, if there's one thing the sun can't burn away, it's how my friends and family feel most days.
yeah.
And it's
Oh, yeah.
I love the idea of, it's a great sort of premise of just feeling stuck and depressed, but in a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great dichotomy,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That pretty much encapsulates like the whole tropical depression thing, because it's like this beautiful paradise like thing, but yet there's still this wrench in your side that's like making you drag and making you miserable. It's like, well, we have this beautiful beach 10 minutes away, the sun's shining. It's like there's the tropical depression kind of settling in. It's an interesting little play on words in a way too.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it. It's the kind of thing it's the kind of way I write songs. I can relate to it.
Nice.
And what was the other one?
Nowhere to Go. Pretty much in the same vein, a little bit more in terms of dealing with transplants and just so many people moving to Florida, and not only us locals, but us native Floridians, just kind of being bought out of a future, just not being able to afford housing and the life that we were promised if we played the game and like that kind of stuff. And but also not taking it sitting down, fighting back, like we won't let you sell the sun, like it's our sun, like try to go to the beach, oh, this is a private beach, like we want to, everybody should be able to enjoy it. So we're fighting back.
Yeah,
Totally.
I've written songs about that too, and I love it. It's a lot of these themes are things that are near and dear to my heart as well. And the more you talk about what you're writing about and your motives behind why you're writing about them, the more I'm falling in love with the band, and the more happy I am that we booked you on the festival.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. We're stoked. Super, super stoked.
Yeah, man. So is there anything else coming up? Have you got anything coming out or any other gigs lined up?
Yeah. So on Friday, we are releasing Nowhere to Go.
Nice.
Very
March
stoked.
14th.
Very stoked. But thank you.
So
Yeah.
this Friday coming?
Yes, this coming.
Well, this comes out at midnight on Friday. So,
Awesome.
So it comes out. It's out today.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Yeah.
sir.
Check it out.
We've got another single ready to go called More Beer. It's as
Anthem.
cool as it absolutely sounds.
It's as cool as it sounds.
Got a ton of new songs, that we're working on. A lot of them are in pre-pro, just ready to go. We're playing the coolest fucking festival to ever exist, the 561
Insane.
Music Festival.
It's pretty cool.
And one thing that we're trying to hook up, we're going to put a little feeler, we would love you guys to join us too, is we want to do Buffett stock, dude, on August 30th, Jimmy Buffett Day. We want to find a venue and just like go as hard as we can. And, you don't have to play Jimmy Buffett like Jimmy Buffett. You can play him like yourself. But
That's interesting.
it's a little idea that we've
I
got
like
kicking
that
around.
idea.
We want to try it. So
Yeah, totally. That'd be cool. I'd be up for doing that with
Sounds
any one of the bands. I think
Hell yeah.
Killbillies could do some Jimmy Buffett.
yeah.
We
Totally.
have done one time. One time we played. We played Margaritaville, I think it was.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
In at the Square Group. I think that's the only time we ever played a Jimmy Buffett song, but I think we can probably all still
Classic,
remember
right on.
it. We should pick a different one though, We should get into and maybe this is the time, maybe this is the chance for me to
Explore
start-
your Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah. to start
I'll share
delving
my
in.
playlist with all the hits,
Yeah.
with
Oh,
all
there
the
you
good
go.
stuff on it. So sleepers, yeah.
And we only write hits too.
we
as a
only,
joke.
we only write hits. Yeah.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
tell you what.
when the idea came out, like for this whole thing, after we jammed a little bit on some songs and started writing, every day we would kind of like, he would throw back an idea, like, what if we did something like this? And I was like, oh, well, it could do this and that. There was just so many ideas happening with the whole like tropical punk thing, from fun songs like More Beer, which is like kind of just drinking anthem, to like Nowhere to Go or Tropical Depression, which are more like environmentally,
Conscious.
socially, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, it's great. I just think it's a really interesting project, and it something I was going to say before was that in terms of like pop punk is really kind of in a naked way the art of songwriting, because it's like, you know, the guitars and the drums and the bass are just sort of a backing for how condensed and like good can you make a song. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just, and how much can it just hit where the person walks away and remembers it? It's really what pop punk's about, you know?
Totally.
Yeah, and I respect, I love I love punk for that reason. You know, one of the many reasons I like punk.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
All right, so, I mean, that's basically where we're at, but I just want to talk about the festival again. Can't blow the horn of the festival too much. So, it is a free show at the Maya Amphitheatre on May 3rd. There's 20 bands, 2 stages, and there's going to be art vendors, 20 art vendors, and there's going to be food and drinks vendors. There's going to be a VIP tent. Now, we're still ironing out the details of that, but stay tuned because, you know, if you want to have a little bit more of a swish experience, then we got you covered. We're going to have a VIP tent. Then the bands are Mason Pace, Tiger Sunset, Closer to the Ocean, Rass, Jut Huffman, Wakata, Medicine Room, Jacob Tackers and a Connection, Beeline, Reverse Oreo, Modern Odyssey, Stony Fools, Strider, Shakers, Ryan Hopkins, Slow Funk Pump, Off Orbit, Billy Doom is Dead, Little Things, and Blab Scam. By the time we get to May 3rd, I'm going to be able to recite all of that without having to look at this thing. I'm sure of it because I say it a lot these days. But I love all the bands. I'm really excited to do this festival. It's going to be great. And you should come. And it's sponsored by Steinger, Greene and Feiner. And we have a bunch of other sponsors as well, Harmony Management. And there's a Galliano Family Salon. And I know I'm going to miss some, but maybe I'll just stick them up in front of me now so you can see them. Yeah, and thank you so much to all of our sponsors for doing this. Discover the Palm Beaches, Palm Beach Cultural Council. We've had a lot of help with it, and we wouldn't be able to do it without it. That's the simple truth. Oasis Route is sponsoring it, and that's what means we can make it free, which I feel is very much in the spirit of the whole ethos behind 561 Music, is making music accessible to people. And it's exciting, you know. Sumfest wasn't happening this year. There was a void there, and we've come to fill it. So thank you so much, guys, for coming on.
Thanks for having us, man. It was awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And, you know, I'll see you. If I don't see you before, I'll see you on May 3rd.
Right on.
Sure, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Nice one.